is Dave Bradshaw, and you're listening to Just Bring It, the Nerd Podcast.
Hello and welcome to another Just Bring It podcast. We are in April still, and we are still talking about Hungarian wrestling. And today we have a special guest. We have our first female wrestler in this month. We already had Eva Kolaski in here, but on the April, our first female wrestler from Hungary. She's a diamond in the rough in Hungarian wrestling, and in the internet you find nearly nothing about her. There's no entrances in any database. There is just a little bit of Twitter, and we will talk to her here a lot more about her. Here is as our guest, Orsi.
Hi everyone.
Hi, how are you?
Nice, thank you. I'm pretty nice.
It's great to hear. It's great to have you here. And thanks
Sorry?
for the quick response. Great to have you here today.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
So I just first saw you on the WXW 16 Carat weekend, exactly on Inner Circle against Eva Everett, I guess.
Yeah.
It was the first time. What is the first time that you wrestled for WXW in such a show?
That was the first time.
Yeah, okay.
My very first time.
Okay. Really interesting. And a lot of people had told me, you have to look for Orsi. She's really cool. She's good inside the ring. She's really nice. So we just have you here. And now we will talk about your way into wrestling and how you got here. I saw your Twitter account is just started in January.
Yeah. I'm quite a boomer in these ways, but my trainer Icarus told me that I have to make one because it's a part of my career, and sharing things is pretty important. So I had to make one, and I can understand why. And I'm trying to learn it still, but I'm on my way.
I'm doing Twitter for some years now, and I don't really understand it in the whole way. So don't be afraid. There's a lot to learn for everyone on Twitter. But your Instagram account is sometimes older, I guess, about 1 year or more than 1 year.
Yeah. It's I use Instagram a very long time from now on. So yeah, I can use that one at least.
So everyone who wants to can follow you on Instagram and on Twitter to see more of you during the next years in your development.
Yeah.
So let's start up at the beginning. You want to talk about watching wrestling. How was your first contact with wrestling? When did you see wrestling for the first time?
For the first time, I saw wrestling when I was pretty young. It was around 2009. When I was 9 or 10 years old, maybe. And actually, it was a Sheamus match against, I don't know who he wrestled with, but at the time I saw him, I just fell in love with wrestling, and I became a Sheamus fan. So I don't know why. I can tell you why. Maybe because it was my first time seeing in my entire life wrestling. So yeah, this was the first time.
Sheamus is not the baddest choice for a favorite wrestler. He's really good in what he's doing. Is he still one of your favorite?
Maybe. I still like his work and shows that he did, but I can't say I have such many people wrestlers that I like, but I can tell you one exact one that I like the most. I just like many people doing wrestling.
It's not that easy to find one out that's the most likable or the most interesting. I can totally understand this.
Yeah.
What kind of wrestling are you watching at the moment?
Well, I'm because of my studies and because of my work, I can't watch that much that I should, but I'm trying. And currently I'm watching AEW, WWE, and lately I started watching Progress Wrestling too. Yeah, these are the mains that I watch, but of course I watch smaller shows and everything else. Just in general, these are the main things that I watch.
It's too much of wrestling to watch it all.
Yeah,
That's just the problem.
yeah. That's a big problem, but I'm trying to solve it.
So you are parallel studying and working?
Yeah. At the same time.
Shall I ask what you are studying?
Uh, right now, I'm at Semmelweis University,
Mhm.
and I'm learning to be a public health inspector.
Ah,
So I'm learning public health and sciences.
mhm.
I'm at my last year, so hopefully I'm going to end up with my diploma soon. And yeah, I thought about going further in my studies, and I would like to be a occupational a health and safety inspector too.
Mhm.
So yeah, these are the things that I study right now.
Very interesting way to go.
Yeah. There are a lot of ways that you can go by these sections.
So you're studying, you're working, and you're resting as well. That's a lot of work during a really short week.
Yeah, yeah, actually, it is. My biggest problem is time managing
Yeah.
because I have around 5 trains per week. So, and it all of them last 3 hours long.
Mhm.
So, yeah, it's I'm quite busy.
Yeah, that sounds like this as well. Yeah. So you are just 22 years old, if I calculated it right at the moment.
Yes, I am.
There's a lot of things that you are doing in such a nice age, I can say. And so you have so many years in front of you for wrestling, for working, and for experiencing anything new. What you
Yeah,
want to
I
do.
hope so. I
That's really
hope
cool.
so.
Now let's look back a little bit. When did you have the idea to become a wrestler?
Well, actually, I was born at the countryside. So in Hungary, we only have the opportunity to start doing wrestling and the trainings at Budapest. But because I was born at the countryside, I didn't have the opportunity. So later, when I was around 10 years old, we moved to Budapest with my family.
Mhm.
And around 2014, um, wrestling came up my mind again, and I thought about, oh, can I do it too? So I looked after it, and I found the HCW dojo.
Mhm.
So I had to really annoy my parents because of the obviously I'm a girl, and I was around 15 years old
Mm.
at that time, and they were worried about me. So yeah, I had some fights with them about that, but yeah, I made it. So I started wrestling around 2014.
Mhm.
I did it for around 2 years, and then I stopped
Mhm.
for personal reasons,
Oh,
and I skipped around 5 years maybe in wrestling, and then I came back, and here I am.
so you just came back 1 year ago, I guess?
Two
Two
years
years
ago.
ago.
Yeah.
Okay. In 2020, you got
Yeah.
back to wrestling.
Yes.
Can you remember your first training session?
Kind of, because I have such a bad memory. But I can remember that Icarus was my trainer.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, we were such small kids, and there was a children's training session
Mhm.
there. Um, yeah, it was pretty exhausting, like tiring for my body. But just when I started, from the moment the training started, I knew that I want to do this. And yeah, it was tiring, but I enjoyed it like a lot. I couldn't do a handstand, couldn't do flips or anything else. But I knew that if I would work for it, I maybe could make it. So yeah. So the most thing that the most important thing that came to my mind that I just enjoy doing this. So yeah.
What kind of training did you do in the kids training session?
It was similar, I think, similar to the other ones. We just didn't do that much bumps
Yeah.
because of our age, but we did a lot of cardio, did a lot of muscle work because we couldn't do that much anything else. So yeah, they started to make us a body first,
Mhm.
a muscle strength, cardio part too, um, to do something.
And coming back in 2020, when you then had your first new training, what was the
Yeah,
hardest to come back?
yeah, it was. I think it was harder than my very first
Mhm.
one because the trainer there um, was Chris Dice,
Mhm.
and he he thought about what about doing 500. Um, oh, what is it called? The Sorry, I will check
No
it.
problem. We
My
already
sorry for my bad English.
talked before. Like I told you, I'm sometimes I'm explaining myself as the worst English speaking podcaster in the whole world. So you're in good hands here.
So we had to do 500 squats,
Oh,
200 push ups, um, and 200 of
I don't want to do this in my whole life, and you had to do it in one training. Oh,
side maps and um, yeah, things like that. There was a lot of cardio,
it
and I just nearly died, but I survived.
was everything aching at the next day?
Sorry?
Had you a lot of pain after this training at the next day?
Yeah. My muscles were like I couldn't move and anything. When I had the trainings uh, after the day that at my university too.
Mhm.
So I was like, ah, no, help me! I couldn't move.
Yeah, that's really bad. Of such a hard training that you explain to us at the moment.
Yes, it was.
But you're still in there, so it was not that hard that you thought, no, I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah. Because of the help of my trainers, because they always help me in every way. So yeah.
Who have been your trainers in your years in training?
Uh, Icarus and Dover, the Arrows
Mhm.
of Hungary. Um, Szabó Tamás, who was
Mhm.
at WXW Showcase too. Chris Dice, Peter Tihanyi,
Mhm.
and Michael Nuts too. Yeah.
A lot of different styles to learn from.
Yeah. And I think it's good to see. Oh, and BT too,
Mhm.
Bensitil BT. Yeah, it's good. I think it's good to see wrestling in through different eyes.
Yeah, of course. You're
Yeah,
totally right. So you can learn from every kind of style. You can learn
yeah,
different things. That's
yeah.
really interesting. So we just now know who you trained, how you trained, but we don't know who you are. Who you are? Who is the wrestling character Orsi?
Actually, it's pretty simple, to be honest. My character, because um, in my trainings I do powerlifting too.
Mhm.
So the idea of Orshi came from my trainings that I'm actually bigger than most of the women
Mhm.
in the wrestling.
How
area.
tall are you?
171
Oh,
centimeters. Yeah, and I'm pretty tall.
hmm
Um, and I'm 70 kilograms too, so I'm kind of uh, bigger than usual.
yeah.
And I know that I couldn't do flips, I couldn't do high flying moves and everything, but I know that I'm stronger
hmm
maybe than average or kind of that.
You're the power
And
woman.
yeah, and the idea came from here. That's what about using my strength, my power to be a powerful character.
hmm
So yeah, it's kind of a strong woman,
hmm
powerful woman character, and that's it.
So let's make this question a little bit more difficult. If you compare your character to a figure from movies or series, who would it be?
I would say maybe Wonder Woman, maybe.
Mhm. A tall woman as well with a lot of power.
Yeah, yes, yes, she's strong too. I think our character is pretty similar.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you fight for other people as well
Yeah,
for
yeah.
justice.
Because yeah, at HCW, our storyline with Iva Kolaski goes like that. I was a backstage interviewer
hmm
before I started my wrestling career,
hmm
and was always nagging me, bullying me that. She's the only woman in here. Like not any other woman can be here,
hmm
but I started to uh, feeling like no, I can do this. I have my place here, and I would like to earn it. So I started the wrestling career,
hmm
and our story goes like she wants me out of here,
hmm
but I was fighting for the people too who were always bullied, like, you can do this, you can do that, you're not enough. So, yeah,
hmm Okay, yeah, it fits to Wonder Woman, of course.
yeah.
You're totally right. So let's look for your first match. Do you remember your first match after coming back in 2020?
Yeah, it was like an unofficial
hmm
match. It was in front of people, but at the countryside.
hmm
Um, we were there with HCW, and it was like a festival kind of thing.
Okay.
And there was like 50 people maximum there. Uh, the event was called like the Night of Terror or something.
Interesting. It sounds
And
a
we
little
were,
bit like
yeah,
Halloween.
yeah, and we were part of the production, so we have to do a theme, the wrestling theme, like it was a terror theme.
Uh-huh.
So I was doing everyone's makeup, and
Okay.
it had to be like something like a horror character or something. So
So you are a makeup artist as well.
no, I just love doing makeup.
Ah,
Like
okay.
Eva Kolaski's makeup, I'm doing her makeup all the time.
hmm
But yeah, I just love doing it.
Okay.
And Maverick's makeup too.
hmm
Yeah, and yeah, so there was my unofficial start of doing this, and yeah, it was interesting.
Are you a fan of such horror mystery topics?
No, I never watch horror or something like
hmm
this because I'm afraid of these things.
Okay. So let's make a small change. What do you watch in your free time, if you have any free time left?
Like wrestling.
No, like movie series, such things.
Oh, mm, it's a hard question because I don't have that much time to do these things.
With
But
everything you told me, I can totally understand that you don't have such much time.
yeah. But when I have time,
hmm
not that much, but when I have, I'm just going through Netflix and HBO and find new series.
Hmm.
Like I really like the La Casa de Papel
Hmm.
show, and I pretty big fan of Game of Thrones too.
Hmm.
So yeah, maybe I started watching when I have time. I started watching back old films that I never watched,
Hmm.
but it's really like you have to watch this before you die. So yeah, I started doing this.
Yeah, that's not that easy. It's if even if you have not that much time,
Yeah.
so you have to focus on special things that you really love, like a
Yeah,
Japanese
yeah, yeah.
series.
Because when I have time, I live alone.
Hmm.
But when I have time, like in 2 weeks or three or in a month, I come home to the countryside to my parents.
Oh.
And yeah, for like one day, I spend the day with them,
Hmm.
and then I go back to training.
Yeah, it's really nice that you visit your parents that often and you try to visit them as often as possible.
Yeah, 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 I'm training. I'm here too with them, so
Ah, that's great. Family is so important in life.
yeah, yeah, it is. It is.
So let's watch, or have watch on your resting time. You rested for HCW,
Yes.
some matches I've seen. I'm just scrolling through your Twitter timeline so I can have a look what you already did. And then you got to WXW. How did you get to WXW on the special weekend of 16 Carat?
Well, I debuted last year,
Hmm.
November, and I had like two matches after that. And Robert Dreisker was there and saw my matches, and we always talk about this. After the show, we always talk about my matches, and after uh, that, we were talking about my match too, and he said that I was booked there, and I couldn't even believe it
Hmm.
because I had like five matches when he told me that.
Hmm.
So yeah, he told me, and then I got there with the whole Hungarian group because there was 26 Hungarian
Hmm.
people who were there during 16 karat gold. Most of them were doing the staff work, but many of them, like the Heroes of Hungary, Peter Tihanyi, were wrestling. So yeah, I was told that I'm going to be at Inner Circle, but I didn't know that I'm going to be at Villa Wrestling too. So after the Inner Circle show, we again with Robert talked about my match, and then he told me that I'm going to be at Villa Wrestling too. So, and I was pretty happy that I got the chance to be with Ava again too, because she's such a nice person and
Hmm.
great wrestler. Like
You're
she's a
totally
dream.
destroying her gimmick at the moment, but it's great to hear that she's a nice person.
Yes, yes,
Have you been nervous if, as you know that you will come to 60 Carat?
yeah. Like I'm always nervous all the time, so
Ah,
it was
okay.
not a surprise that I was nervous.
And how did it feel to wrestle in front of such a? It's not the biggest crowd, but it's a big crowd with about more than 700 people in there. Or I guess at the showcase it was about 400 people. I guess.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, at ACW shows, in the bigger shows,
Hmm.
there are around this much of
Ah,
people.
okay.
So it was, yes, my debut at Bloody November, it was around 700 people,
Hmm.
like that. And so it was not the first time that I was wrestling in front of that much of people. So
Okay.
it was a good thing. But it was. The crowd was like different. Like at ACW, we are doing most wrestling like in a storyline.
Hmm.
So these people watch, I think, more storyline wrestling. But here at WXW, of course, it's another thing to do wrestling. and the fans maybe are interested in not kind of storyline
Hmm.
wrestling. So yeah, it was like different, but it was also good.
That's right. So you had a lot of fun at WXW, I guess, like I heard before. Will you be back there in the near future?
I hope so. I really hope so.
We hope so as well. You can be a good addition to our women's division. It would be great.
Thank you. Thank you.
Where can we see you in the future? Is there any dates already set?
Yeah, I'm going to be at Austria, April the 23rd.
Ah, okay. On which promotion will you be?
PVO, Pro
Ah,
Wrestling Austria.
okay. Do you already know who you will be facing?
Yes, there will be a four-way with Stephanie Mays, Moxie,
Hmm.
and Jessie J.
Oh, that's very interesting for me.
Yeah, it will be.
Will you be on the Passion Pro show in April as well?
Well, I will be there as a staff member, but yeah, I will be there.
I guess there's a lot of work backstage to do so that you can't get anyone inside the ring.
Yeah.
And someone
There
has
is
to
a lot
make
of
the
things to
makeup.
do. Sorry?
Someone has to make the makeup.
Yeah, someone has to do it.
And as I've seen it with Eva Klasky and Maverick, you're doing a good work. So
Thank you very
no one
much.
can
Thank you.
replace you.
Thank you.
So we can see you in Austria. We can see
Yeah.
your work at Fashion Pro. We can see what you're doing on Twitter and Instagram.
Yes.
Is there any kind of merch planned or already placed?
Yeah, I'm already planning it to
Mhm.
do it. I hope that in the near future there will be some shirts, maybe photos too. So I'm
Oh,
trying my best to do it as fast as possible.
you produce it by yourself, or is somebody doing the pictures for you, for example?
No, I'm going to ask Veselka Designs
Mhm.
to do it, and then it's just waiting for for me to do it to start it.
That's good. I hope you will see it soon so we can support you by this way as well.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
And to everyone who's listening today, I wrote to Orsi and she directly answered to me in a really nice, really kind way. So don't be afraid to ask her if you want to support her in any way. She's a really nice person.
Thank you very much.
So I want to thank you for being here today. It was a pleasure to talk to you and to have a look into your wrestling career to today.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the opportunity. It was such an honor. Thank you.
Yes, of course, you can come back anytime and we will talk about what has developed since then.
Thank you. I would love to. I would like to talk about this as much as possible.
Yes, of course, that would be great. So, for you, stay safe, have a nice weekend, and I hope we will see you soon at WXW and anywhere else in Europe or perhaps more than Europe.
Yeah, I hope so. I'm trying.
So, to our listeners, we wish you a nice morning, day, afternoon, or evening, anytime you're listening to this, and we will see us really soon. Bye.
Bye.